Hi guys, welcome back. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Celine. I am a mental health therapist. I specialise in childhood trauma recovery, SRA mind control. I'm a spiritual guide and a healer. So in today's video, I'm going to do top 5 things you can do to start recovering from a narcissist. So this has been quite a theme this week on my Facebook group. I am also running a workshop as well, which I will give details about. So I wanted to do a video really for everyone else that isn't on my Facebook. So top 5 things of a narcissist. So the first one I would suggest you do is learn. Learn everything you can. Read, join groups, look at other people's stories, start looking for similarities within their stories and yours. Read up on what a narcissist is, both the medical definition, and if you look at there's specific life coaches out there and healers that focus predominantly on narcissism. I'm quite mixed, as you'll know if you've been watching my videos, but they really focus on it. So if you go to them, you can learn as well on more of an experience level than the medical definition, because if you have gone and done this, you will see that it differs quite a lot between the one, and in reality, from experience, you know what it's actually like. So I would say that I started my conscious awakening, I would say, rather than spiritual, in 2012. And it's only now looking back that I realised I was guided to do all this. I grew up around narcissists. I ended up in a long-term narcissist relationship. And it was only by 2012 when I started this conscious awakening and learning everything there is, which I'm still learning, obviously. We're always learning. But the more I started learning, the more I grew. And it started off with the narcissist thing, because I couldn't understand it, why I felt the way I did, why they would treat me the way they were. So I kind of fell into it really. And I joined groups, I read other people's stories, and I started seeing a pattern, which leads me on to number 2, which is understanding. So, as I say, I started seeing this pattern, and I was seeing that sensitive people were being targeted by these narcissists, and I found out that these sensitive people were actually called empaths. So then my journey started about the empaths as well as the narcissist, and I started kind of looking at it from that point of view, and it just formed a whole new perspective really. It made me start beginning to understand who I am and why I'm affected the way I was, but also who they are and why they do what they do. So there's where the understanding comes in. You start to get an understanding then as to why this is happening. It makes you start realising that, maybe this isn't so personal. If they've done it to past relationships, they're going to do it to future relationships. You'll notice that certain people, they do wear masks, but you will notice with certain people, they're the same. They also probably don't have lifelong friendships. Friends come and go, because obviously friends end up seeing this. The mask slips, as we all know. And, they end up seeing this, and if they don't agree, they're not narcissists themselves, basically. This is why they end up falling away. Or also the narcissist can treat them like shit as well, and then they just walk. But that's the difference between people that aren't empaths or narcissists, but we are, because we can't do that. We want to heal the narcissist, or we feel like we love them and we want to stay with them anyway, and we just want things to get better. And you just tell yourself all sorts really, when what we really need to be doing is running fast away. So understanding helps you raise up and start coming out of that victim mode and feeling personally attacked, and starting to realise that this is what they do. It doesn't matter who it is. They do it to their own children. My ex still does it to mine, and my eldest is 25 now. So it does get worse as well with age. So I would suggest, if you are, quite young and in this relationship, start doing the work now and get out. So that brings me on to number 3, which is, I've only written 4 here. Never mind. Brings me on to number 3, which is know yourself. So start working through who you are. What do you believe? What do you like about yourself? And there's always things, even if you think there isn't, like, you're kind, you've got a good heart, there are things to light yourself over. You need to start somewhere and you'll build up from there. What do you believe in? What sort of things, if you got out of this narcissist relationship, would you want to empower other people to be able to do the same? So you're starting to get an understanding of who you truly are inside. And so when the narcissist, any narcissist that you meet any time in life, says anything to you that you know in yourself that is not true, you don't have to let it affect you. And in fact, it doesn't affect you, because you're standing in your truth, you know your truth. They can say what they want. It's like the whole sticks and stones thing. Well, sticks and stones did used to hurt me. But once I started empowering myself and understanding myself as well as who I was dealing with, that concept grew and grew. And I'm a lot more tough-skinned now, which is better, because obviously doing what I do, we can get trolls, and that was always hard in the beginning as well. So yeah, do that. So then next thing is heal. So whilst you're finding yourself and learning to know yourself and who you are, you also need to heal from the things that are keeping you with this narcissist and what this narcissist is seeing in you. So we may feel like, if we've tended to grow up in a traumatic childhood where we weren't allowed to express emotions, we weren't allowed to show if we were angry. These things were taught as bad, we'd be punished for it. So now we're in the same situation now in a relationship, those sorts of things can start coming up. Well, that's not right. We are allowed to show emotions. We are allowed to stand up for ourselves. We are allowed to say what we like and what we don't like in how we're treated and things. And the more you empower yourself with that awareness and start healing from it, you can be like a parent to yourself, a best friend to yourself, and comfort that inner child that experienced that. Tell her it was wrong what those adults did, and actually, it's supposed to be like this. And then you start telling yourself those things you wish you'd have been told as a child. And you start bringing healing to that, the inner child within you and yourself now with what you're going through. So by doing this, healing all these wounds, and realising we need balance. It's okay to get angry. We can't be happy all the time anyway, because we're still human. But it is all right to get angry as well, as long as you're not doing anything that hurts others with that anger, or hitting people or throwing things around. Anger is actually a healthy emotion, and it helps you as well, lift you up higher. People don't realise that. If there's an emotional system chart within law of attraction, it's called a vibrational or emotional chart. And at the bottom is like sadness, depression, despair. And the idea is that we move up this chart up to the top, and the higher up we go, the higher we vibrate. So we attract in more abundance and happiness and love and things like that. So when we're sat at the bottom in this depression, where these narcissists want us, it's a lot harder for us to elevate up that ladder and get ourselves out of these dark situations. Whereas if we're at anger, well, anger's about 6 up from there, I think. I may be wrong. I haven't got my book with me, but it is slightly up higher. So then you're at a bigger advantage point then to take that leap up into happiness, and you will continue to grow from there. So this is the whole idea with what goes on with the narcissist and empath thing, and this will bring me on to number 5, even though I haven't written it down. Seeing it from a spiritual perspective. It's all about the spiritual. The empath, you will find, because we're all sensitive and we go through all these hard things, it's because we've actually got a purpose in life. Now, the purpose could be healing from a narcissist and then helping others to heal, or you could just heal from this and new things open up, and you can start doing them instead, and your pathway will just open and you'll start seeing more and more. And this is what happens the more you learn, the more you become enlightened, the more you see, the more you understand yourself, and you start seeing it from a different perspective. So I have done a video on narcissists and attachments and how they work, demonic attachments. Narcissists are largely operated by a demon entity. As they get older, if you haven't found this out already, then you will come across it at some point. When a narcissist gets older, they get worse. So in the spiritual explanation for that is they get worse because this demonic attachment takes over any light that the narcissist has and completely consumes them, and then you're not even dealing with a person, you're just dealing with an entity in this vessel that you see in front of you. So that's why it's imperative that you learn to protect yourself. So although you're healing on the mental here and healing the wounds, that's also going to help bring you like an armor. You can also grow your light within your heart. You can take deep breaths in, hold for 3 and release for 3. So you're releasing all the negative energy, especially as you're healing. Anytime you feel you've healed something and let it go, you want to take the deep breath in and release the energy as well. And just start kind of learning it from a spiritual perspective as well. I mean, in the beginning, you can start off with learning who they are. I do suggest you do that first, and then the rest will naturally open up anyway. So, it is imperative you protect yourself. You can call in protection. You can say you do not consent to any entities or negative energies or anything around you. And, you do have free will. It's just about understanding that. And once you understand that and start withdrawing consent, you stop getting all these attacks and you start moving into that life that you were here for, that you were born for, that you came here for. And you can protect yourself and stop having to go through these things that we go through, which is like the dark underworld, really. It's like walking through that. We've already lived hell dealing with these people. We've been down there with the demons, now you're coming back up to the surface, into the light and into freedom ultimately. And they'll still be stuck down there. That's another thing you need to realise. When you learn and grow and progress and move on in your light and your happiness, that narcissist will stay exactly where they are, in the dark, in their misery, because they will never heal. They'll never admit to what they've done is wrong. They might not even admit to the traumas they went through as a child, because they do go through traumas too. It's just they end up cold and emotionless, whereas us as empaths, we seem to keep hold of those emotions and we just feel that immense pain instead. So they kind of stay stuck in that darkness and it ends up consuming them in the end. And that makes you then start feeling sorry for them. You still can't go and help them though, because you will still get hurt and they will never thank you for it. So it's kind of a case of loving from a distance. You have to protect yourself, especially if you've got children. You can't let them grow up around this. Even if the narcissist isn't like physically abusing them or sexually abusing them, if they're seeing you abused, that is still causing trauma to that child, and they will grow up with that, and then the cycle just keeps perpetuating. So it's up to us really as parents. We can end that curse, that generational curse, so our children don't have to experience that and grow up with that. And so they understand what it is as well, and they can avoid that when they're older. So, you know, it's really important on a lot of levels to do this. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, I am running a workshop at the end of this month. I can't remember what date I went with now. Oh, it's the 28th of March at 2 p.m. GMT. So you will have to adjust that according to your time zone. I am doing an early bird offer until next week. It will be £55. After that, the price will go up to £88. I will put the details in the description on YouTube, so you can contact me to book. We will be going in depth into these things that I've raised today, but we'll also be doing a lot more as well, like the multiple masks they wear, things to watch out for, how they actually work, the tactics they use as well. You need to be able to see through that because they're very good at that, especially with the manipulation and the gaslighting. It's important to see the tactics so you don't get burnt and dragged, hoovered back in. So we will be doing a lot. It will probably be about 2 or 3 hours long. We'll have to see how we go. And it's all about just empowering yourself, learning all the tools you need and starting to feel empowered, and then you can build on that from there after the workshop. So yeah, that will be running on the 28th of March. I have got one spot gone already, as I advertised this yesterday on Facebook. I'm only getting around to doing it today on video. But yeah, if you contact me on the email address below, if you're on YouTube, any other platforms, you can contact me directly in direct message. And yeah, I'll get back to you with any questions. Anything else you want to know, you're always welcome to get in touch. So I will leave it there for this video. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Enjoy your day.